I am the son of my father, planted in my mother's land. But you see, this pain I carry has become my roommate for so long that I wonder if I would ever find a helpmate or even a soulmate. It doesn't often come like thunder about to strike a pulse. It whispers through aching joints, itching skin, heavy eyes. And when I want to wake up in the morning, it's more like a struggle for survival. A loophole, a loophole they call it, a glitch in my creation. Have you ever imagined a part of you that was meant to protect you turn against you and begin to fight you, fights within you? It is hard to carry the scars of one who disguised in plain fight, but we fight for survival. So I speak to that boy, that girl, that man, that woman living with lupus. You are a warrior. You are a fighter. One that has fought more battles than Alexander the Great. You don't think of you small, but I tell you deeply, boldly, clearly that you were not created just to die. Your life is not a life sentence, it is a life essence. So listen to my voice clearly. Don't forget that you are the sons and daughters of our land. And you are a champion, a conqueror. That is what you are.
Indeed, you are a champion and a warrior. And with that amazing performance, we say a very big welcome. Thank you for joining us today on The Medley Show. This is your Midday Energy, and that was an amazing performance by Mr. White and Favor Omebije. So that sort of gives you an idea of what we're talking about today. Today we're shining a light on lupus. Lupus is a silent ailment, but today we're giving it a voice with dance, with conversations, and of course with community and support. So today is Dance for Lupus on your favorite Midday Energy, The Medley Show. My name is Sochi, and I will be your guide for the next 1 hour. Don't worry, we're going to try not to keep it depressed today, but we're going to focus on the strength of those lupus warriors all around us. You may not know them, but today we're going to be shining some light on what they're going through and how they pull through. Welcome again to the show, but let's start from where we always begin on The Medley Show, straight to the world of entertainment. Do you know what's trending? Let's bring you that on BuzzFeed. Stay with us. The Medley Show.
On BuzzFeed this week, Big Brother Naija reunion kicks off with fresh drama. The latest Big Brother Naija reunion episodes have begun airing, with former housemates reopening old disagreements and social media already picking sides. As usual, clips from the show are dominating conversations online. King Madi trends over legal battle and new music. Fast-rising singer King Madi is making headlines after releasing new music while reportedly navigating a multi-million-dollar dispute with her former management. Fans have rallied behind the young star, making the story one of the most discussed entertainment topics of the week. FIFA World Cup 2026 finally kicks off this week. The biggest sporting event on the planet begins this week across the United States, Mexico, and Canada. The tournament is making history as the first World Cup featuring 48 teams with billions expected to tune in globally. Shakira returns to the World Cup spotlight. 16 years after Waka Waka became a global football anthem, Shakira is once again at the center of World Cup celebrations, headlining the opening ceremony and performing the new anthem, Die Die. iShowSpeed's World Cup song goes viral worldwide. Popular streamer iShowSpeed has released his own official World Cup song, World Cup Champions. The track has amassed millions of views and sparked debates online about whether fan-created football anthems can rival official FIFA releases. And that's it on BuzzFeed this week. Till next week, keep buzzing. The Medley Show.
And that's it on BuzzFeed for this week, of course. I hope you got up to speed what's trending in the world of entertainment. So now let's get into the conversation for today. We are talking lupus. We're creating some sort of awareness. We're shining the light on lupus. It's, like I said earlier, it is quite silent, but we're giving it a voice today so you know how strong these individuals are. Let's start with a feature. Do you know what lupus is? A lot of people do not even know. I mean, I was talking to someone about it one day and she says, what's lupus? So this feature will give you an insight into what our conversation for today will be. Stay with us.
When people hear the word lupus, many still ask, what exactly is that? Yet, for millions around the world, it's a daily reality hidden behind smiles, makeup, work schedules, and ordinary conversations. Lupus is a chronic autoimmune disease. This means the body's immune system, which is supposed to protect against infections, mistakenly attacks healthy tissue and organs instead. Lupus can affect the skin, joints, kidneys, heart, lungs, blood cells, and even the brain. One of the biggest challenges with lupus is that it is often called the invisible illness. A person may look perfectly fine on the outside, while silently battling fatigue, severe joint pain, skin rashes, headaches, and emotional stress on the inside. Medical experts say lupus affects women far more than men, especially women between the ages of 15 and 45. In many African countries, including Nigeria, awareness remains low, leading to delayed diagnosis and misunderstanding from society. Some people living with lupus are wrongly labeled as lazy, dramatic, or attention-seeking because the symptoms can come and go. On good days, they may appear energetic. On difficult days, even getting out of bed can feel impossible. One of the most common signs of lupus is a butterfly-shaped rash across the nose and cheeks. Other symptoms may include hair loss, chest pain, swollen joints, fever, mouth sores, and sensitivity to light. Because these symptoms resemble other illnesses, doctors often need several tests before confirming a diagnosis. Although there is currently no permanent cure for lupus, treatment can help manage symptoms and improve quality of life. Medications, proper rest, healthy nutrition, stress management, and regular medical care all play important roles. Globally, celebrities and advocates have also helped increase awareness. Singer and actress Selena Gomez publicly shared her lupus journey and kidney transplant experience, helping many people understand the seriousness of the condition. Beyond medicine, experts say compassion matters too. Sometimes, the greatest support people living with lupus need is understanding instead of judgment. Because behind every invisible battle are people simply trying their best to live normal, meaningful lives.
Yes, thank you, and thank you for staying with us. This is still the Medley Show, and today we're shining the light on lupus. Today is Dance for Lupus. If you missed our opening performance, then I'm sorry. You're just going to have to wait for the next one, right? Okay, so time now for you to meet my guests. Okay, I'm going to start with the first performance we just had. This is not his first time on the Medley Show. You know, after your first time on the show, we tend to bring you into the family. So you're almost after the third time we'll get to ring the bell for you, and then you're part of the Medley family. So my first guest is Favor Omebije. He's an actor, dancer, theater performer, and a lupus advocate. Welcome to the Medley Show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us again on the show. And next to him is Norma Obed Opoko. She is a theater artist, a dancer, and most importantly, she is a lupus warrior. Thank you for joining us on the Medley Show.
Thank you for having
and
me.
agreeing to share your story with us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then we also have joining us the founder of Medley Foundation. It is a lupus foundation in the person of Safinat Emengu. Safinat, thank you for joining us on the Medley Show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And when we were talking yesterday, you told me that you're a lupus warrior yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so thank you also for joining us and agreeing to share your story with us on the show.
Thank you.
So I start with you. Let me start with you, right? So lupus is often described as, if you listen to the feature we showed, it's often described as an invisible illness. It's medically, it's something that's, I think it's more emotional, right? It sort of creates some emotional depression. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I'm going based on my research. So my first question would be, what does living with lupus actually look like? What does it look like?
Okay, before I answer that, I would like to say lupus is actually, it's an invisible disability. So not an invisible
Disability?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It's an
Okay.
Yes, disability, which is also a great imitator of other illnesses.
Okay.
Yeah, because you have people with lupus, when you see them, you can actually try to guess they've got lupus. So we wouldn't say it's an invisible illness per se.
You would try to guess that they have lupus?
Yes, for someone like me that have had lupus for over 20-something years, if I see someone with a butterfly rash, I could tell, oh, you maybe probably need to have some testing, or you might have lupus if they're not sure if they've got lupus. So you have some people with obvious signs,
Okay.
like the butterfly rash. So if you say it's an invisible disease, not totally, because some of us come with a few features that can actually pinpoint towards that direction, I mean.
Okay, I'm glad you pointed that out, because 90% of the time, when I meet people with lupus, I don't know, unless you tell me, right? I think I've met just one person who had the rash on the face. Every other person with lupus that I've met, they had to tell me. Maybe when they're in pain or they start to deal with it at that moment, I'm like, what's wrong with you? And they say, oh, I have lupus, but it's not showing. That's why I think it's mostly called by a lot of people invincible, but that's okay. Thank you for the correction. So let's get right to the question. So tell me what it actually looks like with someone who is dealing with lupus.
It's a very difficult question to answer, because for every person suffering from lupus, we all have different symptoms.
Right.
It's hard to say you find someone who has exactly the same symptoms person. So even for our doctors, this makes it a bit difficult for them. So for every one of us, our treatments are tailored according to what the symptoms we're dealing with at the moment is. So for instance, if you want to try to narrow it down, someone with lupus is, for example, myself, I'll use myself now. I've had lupus for over 20-something years. But I'm very sure if you see me in my normal form, my activity time, when I have my energy intact, you can never tell. There are also people in the foundation where I am the founder. When you see them, you could try to say, oh, there's something going on, because they actually have visible scars. Some of us can't walk. You know, like some of us, we have to use walking aids to move around. That's how bad it gets. Some of us, our kidneys have been affected. Our brain, some part of it has been affected. We actually see different doctors, like the nephrologist. We see the dermatologist as well, and also the rheumatologist. Those are one of our major doctors that we get to see. So for people with lupus, it's very difficult to narrow our answers down, because we deal with so many things, because the lupus itself affects the whole system of our being. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So let me speak to you, Norma. She's had it for over 20-something years. How long did you?
I've had mine for 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
What's your story been like?
It's been a lot. Okay. But yeah, thank God, just like she said, it's an invisible disability. She was using herself as an example, and I would also use myself as an example.
Right.
If I do not tell you that I have lupus, you would not know.
Exactly.
There
Because I
are
was
some
going
of
to say
us.
what's one thing about you that someone will never guess.
Some of us, we have the invisible signs. There are some things we go through we can't even explain. There are some hardships we struggle with. We can't actually explain because it's going to look like a joke to you, but we are going through pain. And when we have flares here, you might see us in the morning, we are strong, and maybe you call in the night, you tell you she can't move, she can't do anything, she can't even lift her hand, he can't lift his leg, they'll have to feed you. I myself, sometimes when I have flares, like the crisis, it's called a flare. When I'm flaring up, sometimes I can't eat myself, I can't bathe, I can't walk. I get my sisters and my brothers and my mom to assist me to move around. And some of us, once you just see us, you just know that there's something wrong with this person. Just like she said, some people have their kidneys affected and or some work with it. And in the initial state, I think it was getting to my kidney, but thank God for timely intervention and good hands. We're able to
Detect it.
Yes, and work on it very well. So that is why, and taking your medications. The medications are really helping. It might look too much, but we do not have a choice to just keep us going.
Okay. Favor, you are an advocate, yeah? So I want to ask, what was your first emotional reaction when you found out about lupus and had to work with warriors? Because you all work together. You've also worked with Ms. Safina. So let me hear, what was your first emotional reaction?
So my first contact with lupus was through Oma.
Okay.
So we work together, we do theater productions together. And, you know, being in that space where you guys are together and you've never seen her have some kinds of symptoms that would lead to a chronic breakdown, it got me thinking, what could this have been? Because at that point, we did not know what was happening. We'll reach out to Oma. Oma, what is going on? She's not feeling fine. Have you gone to this hospital? Yes. So what is the result? They don't know. And
so it took a while to find out?
Yeah. Almost a year.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. So it was devastating for me. Like, what is this illness that we can't detect and diagnose? So seeing her journey got me so inspired that people need to know about this illness. Yeah. I never knew. We knew about sickle cell.
I didn't know either until I met someone.
Yes, and you know the funny part is that people react differently to it. There are some people you might tell that something is wrong, others you can't tell. And for me, that's the most dangerous part.
Right.
Yes.
Not being able to tell.
And you know the problem right now is not just from the patients, is that the illness in itself makes it difficult for doctors to detect it.
Right.
Yeah, so you see that it's on both sides.
Right.
So my initial reaction to this is that people need to know about this.
Need to create awareness.
Yes.
Okay. So let me come back to Safinat. You run a foundation, which means how long has your foundation been running? Let me start with that.
Okay, it's been over 6 years now.
6 years. So for 6 whole years, I mean, you've managed yours for over 20-something years, and then you've had to work with or had to deal with other warriors for the past 6 years. She mentioned that it took almost a year before hers could be detected. Why do you think, I know you're not a doctor, but I'm just, asking this question off of your experience. Why do you think sometimes lupus is difficult to detect early?
Because it's a great imitator. It imitates other illnesses. So it's
wow.
actually difficult, yes. We're very thankful for where we are at the moment. At the time I had lupus, even the doctors, it was so difficult for them to pinpoint what was going on with me. In fact, I had to travel abroad to get my diagnosis done at the time. I had so many medical errors. I used to call myself a lab rat because in fact, I had operations done on me. I had injections wrongly given to me on my scalp, on my face. Yeah, so I think it's better now because we actually now have like labs here in Nigeria where you can take your sample, where they can take your samples and have a diagnosis done for you. We didn't used to have that at the time I had my diagnosis. So it was quite difficult.
Wow. And that means at this point, we can't even speak of early detection, because if you start to feel the signs for a whole year, they couldn't find out that she was dealing with lupus. So you can't even be speaking to early detection in this situation, because if it's lupus and it's imitating another ailment, they're going to say that's what's wrong with you. And sometimes it could take much more than a year to be sure, to be certain. But are there not common signs that, besides the rash, which very few people have, are there not common signs that any lupus, anyone with lupus could have to say, oh, okay, this is what it is? There are no common signs. It's always different. Is that what it is?
There's some common signs like unexplained fevers,
Okay.
sensitivity to sunlight, then sometimes like tiredness, you can't tell where it's coming from. I would like to just say that at the moment, early detection, it's a bit more common because the doctors are more aware than they used to be. So sometimes when a doctor sees a patient, instead of telling you go conduct malaria test, I know a few doctors who are so quick to now say, look, you need to have an ANA test done or an ENA test done, those are testing for lupus, because they are more aware that these signs are there. So when they meet someone who maybe shows 3 symptoms, like for instance, if they meet someone who is always complaining, oh, I'm always tired, I have issues with my joints, I have sensitivity to sunlight, they will quickly refer you to have this test done. The problem there, again, is that the testing is extremely expensive.
Oh.
So sometimes when we were asked to have this testing done, like I'll give you an example, the ENA test is about 350,000 naira.
Just for the test?
Just for the testing.
Wow.
Yes. So sometimes when we're given this testing to go carry out, people don't do it because of the expenses. So that's also a problem.
Wow, that feels really sad. So anyone who can't afford the testing would not even be able to detect that they have lupus and find a solution to it.
Yes.
That's serious. But let me talk to you, Oma. Yeah. So, what was that moment when you realized that your life had to take a different balance? Like you had to adjust to this thing.
That was in 2023, August. We were still going around for the diagnosis, and we had my diagnosis done in South Africa. When he came back,
not even in Nigeria.
Not in Nigeria.
Oh my God!
They had to repeat the test in another hospital again, and that one was done in Turkey. It wasn't even in Nigeria. And the price of the test she spoke about, it depends on the hospital or the lab you go to. Now, when the whole test result came out and my doctors put 2 and 2 together and they were like, this is SLE, that's lupus. And they were like, okay, you have lupus. Funny enough, what came out of my mouth was, thank God.
Why?
Because I had suffered for long.
So at least now you know what you're dealing with.
Yes, at that point, I could not walk anymore. I was being carried. If I'm to go out of my room to do something, I use a wheelchair. At that point, that was how bad it was. I was so dry. It was by God's grace. The thing is, you just have to get the right medication. And immediately they just said, you have lupus. I wasn't worried. I was just happy that finally, after they have given me different diagnoses and everything was wrong. I was swallowing so much pills. So that was why when they just told me,
they were not even the right pills.
They weren't. None. Aside from prednisolone that they were giving me. That was the only right thing amongst the medication. So I was like, thank God. But then...
Little wonder it almost affected your kidney. Thank God.
Yeah. Getting to understand it. Yeah, the thing took away my time, my comfort, a lot, and a piece of me. But I stood my ground because it cannot take my will.
Exactly.
I decided to be positive and learn to live with it. because it's when you're negative about it, that's when it will hit you down. But I have always decided and made up my mind to have a positive mindset about this. I'm not going to let it rule me. Instead, I'm going to rule it.
Which is why you're still dancing and on theatre stages. I've watched your performance a lot of times, and I must say it's quite impressive. Well, speaking of dance, let me talk to you, Favour. You are, again, like I said earlier, an advocate, and you sometimes in some of your performances you try to talk about you call it a disability, right? Try to create awareness for lupus with your performance. I mean, hearing both of you now, I can now make great meaning of the performance that Mr. White did, the spoken word. But as a dancer, how do you tell the stories like this with your art and your movement, and have your audience understand it and relate with it?
Okay, so first of all, the intention. I try to communicate the intention I want my audience to get.
Right.
And what is the storyline behind the performances we're doing? So sequentially, I tend to arrange it that way and use the movement, dance, as a form of storytelling. And it can be with music and with poetry to tell that story. So I wrote that piece, that I used to dance, so that I can be able to get into the minds of the audience to now see what I'm trying to show them through the dance.
Yeah.
Okay. Safina, she mentioned that when she was diagnosed finally and they told her she had lupus, the first thing she said was, thank God. That may not be another person's expression. But I want to ask, what emotional patterns have you noticed in the people you work with over the years when they are first diagnosed?
Funny enough, Alma's experience, what she felt, is what most people feel.
For real?
Because there's one thing, having a problem, I don't know what the solution is. I always tell people the first step to solving anything is to understand. If I know this is where the problem is, then I would now figure out what the solution would be. So if you don't have that, I mean, you're just walking like in a lost playing floor. So most people that have lupus, when they do find out they have lupus, there's the big relief. And you have some other set of people, when they find out they have lupus, they feel like their whole world is crashing down. So I would like to categorize it with the people who have the acceptance factor. Those are the ones that feel relief. The people who, when they find out, there's the denial that comes in. Oh, it can't be me. No. And then with our African background, sometimes we don't want to be labeled like we have, especially knowing that lupus for now has no cure.
No cure.
We don't want to be labeled with that, to say, oh, I have something that's incurable. They'll tell you stuff like, it's not my portion. It can never be me. Things like that. So we have two categories, if I might say, people who feel relief and the people who are still in denial.
Okay. So you talked about earlier how you had to accept it, yeah? Well, my question is acceptance now. Is it sometimes harder than the physical symptoms you feel?
No.
Really?
No.
Talk to me about it.
Yeah.
It's not.
Accepting it is just, I don't know if I'll put them on the same scale,
Okay.
Put them on the same scale.
She
because
did say some people are saying no, they're in denial, it can never be me.
Because
stuff
even
like that.
before the diagnosis come, there are a lot of us, our stories are the same, where we get people say it's a spiritual issue. Because you get seriously anemic that they are doing transfusions, but there is no blood still in your body. So they come up with, it is a spiritual issue, it is a spiritual issue. So all those things actually get to you, but then it's just you. And you just need to make up your mind that this is what you want. Everything is all about the mindset. And I feel like that's what has kept me here today. Just keep up with the mindset. Don't care about what people say. The pain is much, It's really,
if you said you couldn't
really
work,
much.
if you couldn't walk, it must have been a lot.
Whatever it is that's going to give me a flare, I run away.
Yeah.
I run away from it. I run away very fast because I know what I go through. Even if you are taking care of me, you'll be scared. My mom is always worried. Always worried because she's always the one with me. So the pain is there, but the acceptance is very hard. It's not easy, but you need to continue fighting and making up your mind to just accept it.
And that's
that
why
this is what it is.
you guys are called warriors. Anyway, we want to go for a quick break now. And when we come back, we'll delve into the essence of awareness when it comes to lupus. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
From the Atlantic across the savannah to the Sahara, we rise, a land of the free, we know they tire. We dream great, our spirit is undying.
Resilient, rooted like palm tree, we sway in colors, with undying demand. We bet solutions, we ignite passion, yeah. Each ethnicity is unique, we have more than just a nation.
We are Nigeria, strengthening unity. We know they carry life. We are Nigeria, together live the dream of a land with great destiny. We are Nigeria.
I am the real Nigerian. Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
Welcome back. This is still the Medley Show, and today our spotlight is on lupus. We're creating awareness for lupus and also giving it a voice through art and dance. So I have Sefina joining us all the way from the UK, and of course Norma and Favor are here, and we're still having that conversation. So I'm going to go all the way to UK and still speak to Sefina. You know, before I went on that break, I did say that we want to delve into awareness. So listening to your stories, I'm trying so hard. I understand how painful it is, but I'm trying so hard to dwell mostly on the strength of these warriors rather than creating some sort of pity party for them. But you are in the business of awareness for lupus. Why do you feel the need to do that? Through your foundation, of course.
Yeah, it's very important to create awareness about lupus.
I want to know why.
Because this way, it gives understanding to the sufferer, also to the carers. It gives an understanding to them as well, because if you're taking care of someone and you don't even have an idea what's going on, it's more difficult. It also gives hope, because I'll give you an example. If I look at where we are with our members coming out to speak more about lupus, if I compare to last year, I would say 80% of them are now willing to come out more. They are now more confident to speak more about lupus. Most times you have people say, no, don't tag me with lupus. Don't say I have lupus. Don't put my photos out there. Don't speak about me. Now I have members saying to me, look, I want you to speak about my story. I want to share my story. You know, that's very impressive. That shows strength. That shows that actually the awareness we're speaking about is having some effect. And I know for sure, eventually, it will blow out. Our voices will be as loud as we've always wished. Awareness is very key, it's important. It's the key to solving it. It's the key to getting us all the help we've been speaking about, because we need so much help. So for me, it's key. It cannot be overemphasized, to be honest.
Wait, the people who are telling you not to tag them, does it come with a stigma? It doesn't, does it?
Oh, yeah, it sure does.
It does?
Yeah, it sure does.
Oh, wow. That's new for me.
Especially in Africa. Just because of our traditions, our beliefs, it's hard to take that away from us totally. So some people, like Omar rightly said, some people will tell you, oh, it's a spiritual attack. You have people who don't want to be associated with lupus because they feel, oh, people in my society will feel something is going on with me, which is diabolic. But with the awareness now, people are becoming more aware of what it is exactly and accepting it. So, like I said, the advantage of creating awareness, it cannot be overemphasized. It's just so important, and we're seeing the effects as we are at the moment.
Okay, so Omar, how dangerous do you think silence and lack of awareness can be for warriors? Because, like, I'm still going back to what she said when she mentioned it again. Some people are still in denial. Oh, don't tag me, don't put me along with that, which means they don't want to deal with the fact that this is their reality, right? Because as it is now, lupus doesn't have a cure, right?
Yeah.
You just manage it and live with it. So how dangerous is it to be silent and lack of awareness for lupus warriors?
Yeah, let's talk about the silence. Keeping quiet and not having anybody to talk to or share with could cause you going into depression. And one thing we still don't understand, you can have a flare-up from having an emotional breakdown.
Wow.
Yes, you can have a flare-up. Your doctors will tell you. So having someone to talk to, having people around you that you could share with and all would really help you a lot. And not just anybody, but people that show care. People that will actually continue showing care and not stigmatize you. So keeping silence would not be the best option. Then the awareness is very needed. Very needed in cases of trying to strengthen the warriors. There are some of us that have not, it's not everybody that is as bold as myself and Sefina, just like she said. Me, when I found out that lupus, they don't really know it. Even in some government hospital, I have to start explaining to someone that this. I started using my pages to create awareness.
Yeah.
I started using my pages to create awareness and
so
also
that people know and know how to manage those
exactly.
around
And
them.
also, if you have someone around you that is going through this or having the symptoms, you can help them go through this and say, okay, let's go through this route, let's go through this. You strengthen them, you encourage them so that it keeps them going. It gives them the confidence and the courage to know that they are not alone. We are much and we're not alone, and we can fight and win this together. So it's very important for us to do the awareness so that there are some persons still not coming out to really say it's just them and their family. But when we create this awareness, they are now more aware that, okay,
it's
people
not a
know
bad
it's
thing
not
to speak about
yes,
it.
it's not a bad thing to speak, and I will not be stigmatized. There are people that I can go to for support, and it helps them just build up.
Okay, so Favor, you again as an advocate, you don't physically experience lupus.
No.
So how do you, but you deeply empathize with it.
Yeah.
So how do you, how are you, is it difficult to portray something in your advocacy through art? Is it difficult for you to portray something that you don't physically experience but you empathize with?
Yeah, so now that's where you become a very good artist. Your ability to be able to try your best to fit into the shoes of those people. And the advantage I had was that I got to, from not too up close, I got to witness what Omar went through.
With,
so I saw how devastating it could be. And it gives me the insight to want to really learn about this particular illness and then the stories of the people that go through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you listen to some of the stories, you get to find out that most of the things they go through, they can't explain it. It can't be explained. Yeah. You don't know how to articulate, articulate that feeling you're having. So I try my best to want to put myself in that space so that when I am using art to advocate for these things, I'm able to bring out the best interpretation of that piece.
Wow, amazing. Safinat, you did mention that some people do not want to be identified with this disability, but I just want to talk about some of the social struggles that people who are dealing with lupus have to go through. What are some of the unseen social struggles that lupus warriors deal with that people rarely talk about?
For example, some of us, it affects our emotional state of mind. And in
Right.
turn, it affects our families. So we have quite a number of us sometimes that go through divorce just for the mere fact that we've got lupus. I have members who have been out of work just for the mere fact they have lupus. A lot of normal things you could do socially, they can't afford to do that anymore. So that's why for the awareness this year, we thought to have two main events, which is the run for lupus, maybe more physical, and the dance for lupus. So we try to get it from an emotional point of view to make people understand that the fact you've got lupus, it shouldn't define you. It shouldn't try to change what you normally would enjoy doing. You understand? So, like someone like myself, I derive so much joy from dancing. It's one of my kicks when I feel down, but there are days again when I can't do it because of lupus. My storyline, okay, before I got diagnosed, if you had poked a pin in my leg, I wouldn't feel it.
Wow.
I used to have, of course, just the way Alma said, I couldn't walk. But now I walk, I run around everywhere, I can go to anywhere. This is different. Some of us, when this disability comes and you can't walk, some of us are not so lucky to be able to walk again, sadly. So we decided to just ensure that people enjoy life. Like in the foundation, what we try to do most times, we don't make, like you said, we don't make it about a pity party.
Right.
We try to organize fun things within the group just to be happy, to keep people going. Part of the things we're planning to do this year, we're also trying to do sip and paints, just fun things. Live your life normally. Let your social life not be taken away from you because you've got lupus. We try to support each other in this bit as well. So, but I know that because it affects us emotionally, some of us are withdrawn. We don't want to come out.
Okay.
I used to be that way. I didn't want to come. I didn't want to. Your friends will not understand when you've had a plan all set up. And it's now time for the goal. You're like,
And you
okay,
can
sorry, I
be
can't make it today.
there. Right.
Yes, so we're trying to just encourage people more. Don't try. It's okay to feel sad. Don't get me wrong. It's okay to let your emotions take the best of you sometimes, so that we all don't end up being depressed. It's okay to let the emotions go. I tell people, when you feel sad, express it. When you feel like crying, please cry. Don't try to hold back your emotions.
Okay.
It's just life, and I like to make people understand that lupus is also part of life. It's also part of what life throws at anyone. It could be something else.
Okay.
But the inner strength in you is what we're trying to encourage people to come out with, and so that it doesn't affect their life socially and whatever they have to do in life generally.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was going to ask you how important is emotional wellness for someone dealing with lupus, but I'm glad you said that. So let me talk to you, Norma. Is there a pressure to always look okay? And how dangerous, how harmful is that? Is there a pressure to always look okay, or it really doesn't matter?
It really doesn't matter.
Okay.
But sometimes me personally, I do not want people to see me. I do not want to look like what I am going through. Because just like she said, when we want to do things like this, we don't go about pity party, but we do things to strengthen. So sometimes I don't want you to see me that way, and I pity. Sometimes
Not to see you down, right?
Yeah.
So you always try to look okay.
And when I am not okay, I go off.
Yeah.
And
I
you
go
tell, I'm
off.
not okay, I just
go off, so that you don't see me, because I can't even answer, and I do not want to answer. Even when my mom, when some persons call her, I be like, don't tell them I'm down, no, because she's always quick to say, she's not feeling fine again, she's down. But no, I don't. There's no pressure, but I do not just want you to see me that way. If you see me okay. If you don't see me, then maybe you just look for me some other day and you see me.
Okay, so Favor, do you think awareness becomes more powerful when it's expressed emotionally, rather than when you have to constantly explain the medical part of it?
Oh yes, I don't feel, I know that it's even better because using art to tell specific stories has a way of going straight into the subconscious mind of the people. So it can evoke empathy, and they now have a feeling of what it's like. Instead of coming to tell people, lupus is an autoimmune disease, when you show them, when you show them what that feels like, looks like, and then it gives them a window into the life of people living with lupus. It's easier to understand. Yes, it's easier. So for me, that's why I feel, and I know that art is supposed to inspire and impact. Right. So it's supposed to be a tool for change and awareness. So I know that when we do dance pieces, when we do poetry, when we do drama, it has a way of sticking to the audience more than coming to explain to them.
Okay, fine. But listening to you and Safina, I mean, I like the idea of constantly building community support and trying to do things that will create joy rather than having people pity you. But Safina, I need you to answer this because you're also going to answer that. But let me start with her. How do you create empathy without turning people into objects of pity?
By understanding, by showing you understand. For instance, I have sometimes when members are down and they want to talk to me, I always try to make sure I'm available as much as I can, even though I'm dealing with lupus myself. Sometimes I just sit there and listen. I might not say a word. I'll just let you vent it all out. I think it's very powerful sometimes not to ask questions. Just let somebody speak. Just talk. That way, I'm not saying to you, oh, sorry, don't worry, you feel better. Oh, no, someone else, or trying to compare your pain level with someone else. I just listen because I understand. So that way I'm showing you empathy without having to sound like I'm a pity-party fellow for you, if that makes sense.
Okay, it does make sense, but humans, it's not always easy for me to hear the story of how much, you just told me there was a time both of you couldn't walk. So it's not easy for me not to feel some sort of pity. But like you said, the more I listen to people share their story, but just so that we don't, trivialize it.
Yeah, you're speaking to someone who at least has an experience of what you're going through. That alone, firstly, is reassuring.
But I don't have an experience, and you're explaining to me. Naturally, I'm going to, without even knowing or knowing that I'm sure, I'm going to start feeling some sort of pity for you. I knew you could walk today, and tomorrow I'm seeing you. You can't walk.
To you talking to me or me talking to someone? Sorry, maybe I didn't get you right.
No, I said, how do we create empathy for these warriors without turning them into an object of pity? Like, how am I able to empathize with what you're dealing with without pitying you like you are on the verge, how do they say it, on the verge of death?
Just by showing support, by being there.
Okay.
By being there if I need to speak to someone you're available to speak to, just show support. Maybe the days I can't have things done, you're there to assist.
Okay.
For me, that's empathy without showing that, oh, I'm feeling so sorry for you, or I feel, oh, you're almost dying, or no.
Okay.
So that's what, yeah.
Our time is fast spent. We're almost going to end this conversation. There's a lot to say, there's a lot to learn, but I'm sure we've been able to give out as much knowledge as is needed for some sort of awareness. But let me talk to you. As someone living with lupus, what does meaningful support and community mean to you?
It means a lot. You waking up every day to know that there are people who support me in my downtime, and there are people I could fall back to, there are people that I could also always run to, and people that would understand and encourage me all the time. It's a lot for us. Remember I mentioned emotionally, you can flare up if you break down emotionally. So you waking up and you're thinking about the whole thing, it's not easy because it's like you're living a whole new life. It changed my whole life. Yes. It changed me. I don't do theater works like I used to because I have to select. Yes, sometimes I accept, but I cannot do it. So it is very hard for you to. But when you have this community that accepts you, that supports you, it keeps you going, even if you do not have anything doing at the time. But that support, that encouragement, eye, keeps you going every time.
Okay, Favor, in closing, as an advocate, what would you say to someone who is newly diagnosed and is afraid?
It's okay to be afraid, but don't let it stop you.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't let it stop you.
Right.
And I believe that with the right people around you, it's going to be a very beautiful battle that will be won. Because hearing Omar speak about this, we get to work together, and for me, if I'm the one curating the work, I know where to put her.
So that you don't stress her.
Yes, it does not mean she cannot go through that stress, but like Safina said, the understanding about what the battle is like.
Positions your mindset.
So that's part of your contribution in supporting them emotionally and otherwise. So for someone who is afraid, that's why we're here.
Okay.
It's okay to be afraid. That's why we're actually doing this advocacy.
To help with the
fears. It's okay. People have gone through that experience, and right now we're saying that you are a champion. You have won. You've won the battle. And you know, for me, that's where I come from. Me and Omar were speaking one day, and I think when we were doing dance for lupus, and she said we're talking about being a warrior, being a fighter, and the word now came, being a champion. That's to say that you've won this battle. Yeah.
Right.
So I know we are fighting, I know we are warriors, but in prospect, what we're saying, yes, that it's a battle that's been won. And to anyone that is out there and is scared or is afraid, we're here saying and telling you that you're not fighting this alone. We have people who have gone through this part. We have people
and they're here to support
you. Who you can reach out to. The foundation is available. You can reach out to us anytime, any day, and we would meet you at your.
All right. So, Safina, in closing, I just need to ask you this: if awareness, because I can't get my mind off the fact that you both mentioned how expensive it is to even get tested, and most times not even in Nigeria. That means there could be someone dealing with lupus right now and cannot even afford to actually find out if he has lupus or she has lupus, right? So I just want to know if awareness around lupus improved significantly today, what would that immediately change for people dealing with lupus?
A better way of living. They would have a better life because, like Omar said, emotionally, it's one of the hidden struggles we face as lupus patients. Because when you have a disease that you know there's no cure, you have to manage, and you don't even have the ability or facilities available for you to be able to manage this. It's so stressful. One of our major triggers is stress. So, but if we have all this in place, I mean, that solves, will I say, 50% of the problem.
Okay.
That's correct to say. And that's why we've been saying to the government, saying to well-meaning individuals, to please come on board and assist. But the government bit was saying to help us with some policies that can assist lupus patients to get better care. And that's what's also pushing us towards the direction of advocating for a lupus center at the end of the day.
Right. Okay.
Yes. We don't have any in Nigeria.
All right. So let's just, in closing, let's just bust a few myths and facts when it comes to lupus. So I'm going to mention a few things, and you all will tell me if it's a fact or it's a myth, right? So first is lupus is contagious.
That's a myth.
Myth.
That's a myth.
That's a myth? Right. Okay, so whilst we're doing this, I would quickly want Mr. White to get ready because he will be talking us out with an amazing spoken word performance out of today's show. So only women get lupus.
That's a myth.
Myth.
Men have lupus too?
Yes.
Like
Funny,
this
I have
empty-
not met or seen a man who has lupus.
There are men who
have a
it,
couple
There are
of
men who
but
have
there are
lupus.
few. Yeah.
Very few. Okay,
Yeah.
so you can look completely healthy and still have lupus.
Fact.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that because I've seen that today in the both of you. I mean, lupus is caused by lifestyle choices. I think I can even join you guys to answer that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your response?
That's a myth.
No.
No, I don't think it's by
I'll beg to
lifestyle.
differ on that a little
Oh,
bit.
it could be caused by lifestyle choices.
Yes.
Please, how so?
According to some scientists, you know,
Okay.
like the pregnancy pills that are being taken sometimes. There was a study
that's
that said it could
Okay.
be because if you check the age range for women with lupus, I think it's from, if I'm correct, I think it's from 15 to 45.
Okay, so because of time, I will not let you
Yeah.
completely explain that, but I get the point that scientifically it could be.
be a fact.
Okay, so finally, lupus can affect different parts of the body.
Fact.
Fact.
So people with lupus cannot walk or be active.
Not all.
That's a myth.
Yes, not
In between.
In between.
between,
Okay.
yes.
So,
I
so
said,
our
not
time is
all.
fast spent and we have to go. But I'd like to say a very big thank you to you, Favor. Thanks so much for coming today, for that beautiful performance, and for also speaking up for these warriors who are dealing with this disability that a lot of us do not know. Thank you so much, Omar, for sharing your story with us.
Thank you for
And
having
thank
me.
you so much, Safina, for sharing your story with us and also running that beautiful foundation where a lot of women have found solace and peace and are able to still be strong in spite of the pain that they deal with. Thank you so much. And with
Thank
that,
you.
we've come to the end of today's edition of the Medley Show. I hope you learned something. I hope you're more aware of lupus, and you can help someone who is a warrior beside you, who you may not have known that they do have lupus. Thank you. I will see you next week with another interesting, amazing, and fantastic edition of the Medley Show. Until then, my name is Suchi Puto. I now leave you in the hands of Mr. White.
You see, in a world full of uncertainties, clarity slowly becomes an illusion that steals us from the reality of who we are. But I tell you for free, today I preach hope, I preach survival, I preach peace. To that boy, that girl, that man living with lupus, you are not alone. We see you, we hear you. Our voice rises against the noise that you have heard. So today, I stand with you to tell you that above the stories, they try to name us. Myth, they try to break us. Stairs, they try to fade us. And traditions.
The